Oh, hello, I'm Burt Green. This is the Burt Locker. I've been spending the morning just drinking coffee, researching fights because this fight card tonight, UFC 101, has actually got some very interesting fights on it. So basically, this video is just me going through the fights that I find interesting on the card because they're not all interesting. It's not like a star-studded card, but there are certainly some fights, some fighters to keep an eye on, and of course, some terrible bets to make. So let's get cracking. The fights I'm interested in, Joe Solecki is just getting fed to Nurilo Aliev. I've not put a bet on that one because honestly, Aliev from Tajikistan, he's an absolute monster. Look, Joe Solecki's solid. It's no disrespect to him at all. It's just Nurilo Aliev is an absolute monster, and he's somebody that I want to keep an eye on. So that one's worth watching just to see if, look, he might not be worth the hype. You had that monster come over from Cuba, that 6'7" kickboxer who turned out to be just an absolute wet wipe, didn't he? He's gone into karate combat now, FYI. Robelis Despagnier. Despagne, I don't know how to say his name, but you know who I mean. Anyway, he's now in karate combat, which suits his skill set much better. So, side note, check out Karate Combat and watch that 6'7" Taekwondo monster in a sport where it's that suits him far better because he was just getting taken down at will. But yeah, I got sidetracked there. Back to the point. Nurilo Aliev, keep an eye on him. Tajikistan lightweight, very very good. He does have the beard of death. You know the beard I mean. The guys that just have the chin strap beard are usually monsters. But the other fight that I'm looking forward to, that I'm finding really intriguing, actually, is Fatima Klein against Victoria Dudakova. Now, I may have missed the boat on Klein. Please let me know in the comments why Fatima Klein is such a heavy favourite in this one. Because, look, obviously she's quite good, but she's 0-1 in the UFC. Lost to Judah Vicious, the Canadian, I believe. Decision. I mean, it was probably a competitive fight, but Dudakova is a monster out of Russia. She's excellent kickboxing, really great wrestling. Her takedowns are very, very good. She's 8-1, and she's only lost one in the UFC, which was a split decision in her last fight. Outside of that, she's looked really, really quite dominant. So I'm wondering, why is she 5-1 against to win this fight? Look, I'll hold my hands up. I don't know too much about Fatima Klein. Please let me know in the comments, why is Fatima Klein negative 5-1 favourite? Like she's a minus 800 favourite against Dudakova. Why is Dudakova a 5-1 underdog? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm looking at their fight. Like, I don't see why Klein is being favoured so heavily. I just don't see it. It's so for me. You can see where this is going. I am betting on Dudakova in this one because, in my mind, the odds should certainly be closer, if not Dudakova being the favourite. But again, I must stress the point. I've probably just missed some sort of hype on Klein, and I just. But either way, 5-1 on somebody as skilled as Dudakova, even if Klein is like a monster, is an absolute hype job. Even if she is that good, Dudakova's a very, very skilled fighter. To have 5-1 against on anyone that good, I think there's value there. For me, that's value in the odds. There's probably a good reason she's an underdog. The bookies don't often get it wrong. So please, let me know in the comments, why is Fatima Klein being so heavily favoured here? Thank you in advance. So Thiago Moises is the next one. So Thiago Moises versus Trey Ogden is the one that I think is the next one that I really that caught my eye, honestly, because I like Thiago Moises. 29, just come into his prime. He's very, very. He's a physical specimen. He's very athletic. He's got good submissions, very good submissions. I think he got an Achilles lock on somebody. I can't remember who, but I'm sure he did. Anyway, he's mostly getting submissions or knockouts. Now, Ogden, the Samurai, great nickname. I don't know. I think that's very funny. He's very good, but he's not brilliant on the feet. He's got very good submissions. I don't think he's got any knockouts on his record. I think he's got like something like 11 submissions. Moises is younger. He's a bit more physical. So I do see him probably being a bit too much for Trey Ogden here. The odds are close for good reason, because it is going to be it's good matchmaking. This I do like Thiago Moises, and I can't pick between the submission or the decision, so I've gone double chance on that one, and that's 1.67 in decimal odds. So the next fight I think is interesting is Punahele Soriano against Uros Medic. Now, Uros Medic is the main reason that I find this one interesting, because anytime Uros Medic is fighting, I will be watching. He is the doctor, because he is surgical, and he's not a real doctor. So don't let him perform medical procedures on you or prescribe anything. Please, please. He's a doctor in the way Dr. Dre is a doctor. And you wouldn't want him performing surgery on family members, and you don't want to fight Uros Medic either. Honestly, he's 10-2, but all 10 of his wins are finishes. All 10. I think it's like 8-2. I think it's like 8. Anyway, he's got unbelievably good hands. I think the one that stuck out for me was when he fought Semmelsberger, and he did a spinning back fist that caught him in the third round. When you're finishing people in the third round, that shows that your power it can go the distance, and that makes him very, very dangerous. Soriano, look, he's good. He's good. He's a solid all rounder. I just don't see him quite handling the power of Uros Medic. So for me, Medic by knockout in that one, 2.38 in decimal odds. So, just better than evens. The other one that I'm really looking forward to, I think it should be the co-main, honestly. Chris Curtis versus Roman Kopylov. Now, if you've seen this before, you know that I'm a huge fan of Roman Kopylov. I'm jumping on that hype train early. As soon as I saw him knock out Ribeiro with the head kick, it was just such an effortless head kick. See, Kopylov, his striking is scary because it's so effortless. He's so effortlessly good. He flows really well. He never looks like he's throwing a lot behind everything. So he snaps things off. He's just very, very quick. There's very little wind up to his kicks. He hits the head kicks better than as good as I've seen. Now, Chris Curtis is actually an interesting puzzle for Kopylov, because Curtis is very difficult to knock out. Like, what's he had? Like 42 fights? He's been knocked out once in those 42 fights. That's a hard man to knock out. And it's mostly because he hides behind that Philly shell boxing defense, which is similar. He trains with Sean Strickland a lot, and it shows, because he can tell that he spars all the time, and he has that sparring timing. His timing it's a game of inches. It really is. He's able to just get out of the way of things, and that's why he's difficult to knock out. That being said, I do like Kopylov in this one, as long as it stays in kicking range. I think in kicking range, Kopylov has quite a significant advantage, and I see this being the second knockout loss on Chris Curtis's record. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Curtis take a decision, or maybe even get a knockout himself, because he is good. This is an excellent matchup. This is going to be a brilliant fight, a brilliant tactical, most likely a stand-up fight. Fight of the night for me, this one. That's my pick for fight of the night. Chris Curtis, Roman Kopylov. But I think Kopylov takes it by knockout, and that is 4.33 in decimal odds, so 3.5-ish to 1 in English. Cesar Almeida versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan. That's the next fight that I am interested in on this one. Now, Almeida, he's 6-1 in mixed martial arts. He's got 4 knockouts. He fought Pereira in kickboxing, which is why he has the hype behind him, because he actually beat Pereira in kickboxing. He lost to him as well. They fought 3 times, I think. I think it was 2 losses and 1 win. It was a decision. Now, so for that reason, there's an awful lot of hype behind him. Al Hassan, you might be tricked into thinking he's being fed to Almeida here. This is good matchmaking. This is a tough, tough fight. Al Hassan is 12-6, right? It's not the best record, but all 12 of his wins are knockouts. He is an absolute beast, right? He's a monster. Now, this is one where you can get some real potential value here because, look, Cesar Almeida, he might be everything they say he is and more. From a technical standpoint, he's probably going to be the better striker. Like, I could see a universe where he pieces Alhassan up with kicks and keeps it at that range and just makes a complete mockery of him. I can see a universe where that happens. However, we don't know this about Almeida yet. We don't know how well his skill set, like, you know, a Pereira who's taken to MMA like a duck to water. Do all kickboxers? No, they don't. Not all kickboxers are the same. Just because he fought Pereira doesn't make him Pereira. Now, there's some really good potential value here because Alhassan's been completely overlooked. In a fight where they're going to be both standing for the most part, I don't see Cesar Almeida shooting for a lot of takedowns. Call me crazy, but he comes from a kickboxing background, and I don't see him shooting him for a load of double legs. And that is where, on the feet, is where Abdul Razak Alhassan is dangerous. We've seen that in the past. We see that on his record. He is 12-6, 12 knockouts. All 12 are knockouts. There's some good potential value here because Alhassan's being overlooked. I'm taking Alhassan by knockout. That is 4.50 in decimal, so 3.5 to 1. That's good value on that bet. I'm not saying it definitely comes off. Gambling it's in the name. It's a gamble, isn't it? Don't bet heavy on it, but you're getting good value on that. Good value. Ponzinibbio is the next one that I'm interested in just because he's always fun to watch. He's 38 now. You're probably not seeing too many more fights from Ponzinibbio. Carlston Harris is his opponent. Now, this is good matchmaking again because Harris is also 37. He's very, very good. Excellent boxing. The thing that stands out for me for Carlston Harris, though, are his chokes. He's got those long arms, and he's hit 2 anaconda chokes in the UFC, which and I could see him catching one of those here. He has the reach advantage. What has he got? Like about a 3-4 inch reach advantage, and I feel like Ponzinibbio, he's coming off 2 losses. He's 38 years old. I don't think he's the fighter that he once was. Even the fight against Gunnar Nelson, let's be fair, he eye-poked him like 4 or 5 times and then hit him with a combination. And that was in his prime. And that goes down as a knockout win. What I'm saying is Ponzinibbio is fun to watch and he is a beast, but how much has he got left? He's on the Spanish desk every week. He's one of these guys, I would say he's definitely 1 foot out of the door already. I don't think Harris is as 1 foot out of the door. He's 37. It's good matchmaking. It's a very even matchup, but I like the submission for Harris just because I feel like if it goes to the ground, that's possibly where he's got the biggest advantage. And yeah, those anaconda chokes, he hits them. So I'm taking that. 5.5 to 1. Well, 5.50 in decimal, 4.5 to 1 in English, and yeah, that's good value. Good value on that bet. I'm not saying it comes off, but you know, again, it's in the name. It's a gamble. You know, keep the stakes low, odds long, bets terrible. That is my motto. That was actually the last fight I was really interested in. Dern versus Hebas, the main event. Should be a fun enough fight. Both of them are very similar to each other. They're the same age, about a month apart. The last fight they fought before, so it's a rematch. Hebas won the first one by decision. It was close-ish. Both of their striking is leaving to be desired, let's say. They both leave their chins out. They both swing pretty wild, which can be quite entertaining. On the ground, they're kind of going to cancel each other out because they're both very high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts. Really, really good fighters. I'm not sure we needed to see this one again, if I'm completely honest. So I'm not thrilled with the main event. I will watch it, but I'm not adding it to my accumulator. So my accumulator is Dudakova to win. That's probably going to go wrong on the first. If it's going to go wrong, it might as well be the first result, right? So that's 5 to 1, so +6, and then 1.67 on the Moises double chance submission or decision. Uros Medic by knockout 2.38, 4.33 on the Kopylov knockout. Al Hassan to get the knockout 4.50. Then you've got 5.50 on the submission for Harris against Ponzinibbio. Put those together, you're getting 2,546 to 1 roughly. So that is worth £2.50, and that is a terrible bet. So yeah, we'll see how those pan out. I'll do a recap of these probably tomorrow. And until next time, keep the odds long. The bet's terrible.